Hello everyone, Ember Power here, back with a new video, and in today's one we're going to be taking a look at some superior deck lists from Japan. So for those of you who don't know, Superior is an upcoming V-Star from the set Silver Tempest, which is Stage 1 Grass type V-Star, has 270 hit points, which is a little bit less than what we want really. 280 is kind of like the max threshold that we want to see on our V-Stars, but 270 is still not too bad. Also has two very powerful attacks, Regal Blender, for grass and two colors, does 190, and then you may move any amount of energy from your Pokemon to your other Pokemon in any way you like. In this way, you can conserve energy if your superior is about to be knocked out, as well as shifting around energy that's on your bench Pokemon, so that's important to bear in mind. It also has a star power, Star Winder, that for a single grass energy, does 60 damage for each energy attached to this Pokemon. So for 3 grass energy, you are only doing 180, so it's not worth committing to a Star Winder in that sense. But it is worth it once you get, 4, 5, potentially even 6 energy, because you can, obviously in the late game, move a ton of grass energy from one of your Pokemon onto Superior. Also, Special Energy will count towards Star Winder as well, so something to bear in mind. Superior also has Free Retreat as well, which is very handy, and also has weakness to fire. And Radiant Charizard is just about the only fire type that's seeing any play right now because of how dominant Palkia is. So actually being a grass type is, it's pretty good. So the other new supporter card from the main set, Silver Tempest, the one that's really important we have to talk about is Serena. Has a choose one effect. One of them is discard up to 3 cards from your hand. If you discarded any cards in this way, you draw cards until you have 5 in your hand. Just a nice way to thin out cards and draw more. And the other effect is switch one of your opponent's bench Pokemon V with their active Pokemon. So essentially, Serena doubles as a boss's orders, but also a draw supporter. So in the majority of games, you want to boss's orders up a Pokemon V. You don't really want to go after rulebox Pokemon that are only worth 1 prize. So being able to just double up as a boss and, just a draw supporter in a pinch if you can't research or something, then Serena ends up being a really good card. Also, 2 items that I have to bear in mind because the Superior came out in Card Destiny Arcana, which came out a few weeks before Paradigm Trigger does in Japan, so they haven't had access to Forest Seal Stone or Earthen Seal Stone yet, but these are tool cards that you can attach to your Pokemon V to give them an alternate V-Star power, essentially. Star Alchemy is the more popular one that allows you to, once in your turn, you may search your deck for any one card, but Earthen Seal Stone is also worth considering since Superior needs 3 energy. Star Gravity says put damage counters on all of your opponent's Pokemon V until they have 100 HP remaining, so definitely worth considering if you think you need to soften up your opponent's stuff without, having to rely on Star Winder to take a massive KO. Going into the first deck list here, we have it focused mainly around Superior, but it's also a thin line of Leafeon V and V-Star. So Leafeon V is kind of here to accelerate grass energy on the first turn of the game primarily, so you can attack on your second turn with, just playing 3 energy. So you need 3 energy as an attack cost, I should say. So Leafeon V will help you accelerate a grass energy from the deck. Leafeon V-Star will also give you V-Star power that will essentially be a boss's orders, effectively. We do play 1 Serena 2 boss anyway, because this deck wants to actively target down suffer Pokemon, because it can set up KOs very easily with the Raikou. So kind of the main theme, I guess, of this deck is you're going to try and get a bunch of energy in play with either Gardenia or, Leafeon V-Star or the Hisuian Voltorb, and then you can move them all off Superior onto your other attackers, such as Raikou. There's a Zamazenta V for the late game. There's also a Radiant Charizard in here for the very late game, so very interesting list to see. The 2-2 Eldegoss is also pretty interesting because the Eldegoss Stage 1 allows you to, once in your turn, search your deck for 2 different basic energy. So it's a useful way of finding these awkward attack costs, basically. Your one-off fire energy, your metal energy, or your lightning. So yeah, super cool list. Not one I would have expected to see, but should be a lot of fun to try out. Next we have is kind of obligatory Lost Zone variant. I feel as long as the Lost Zone engine will be in the standard format, there will always be experimentation with it because it's so powerful. And this is no different. There was a couple of Lost Zone decks that I saw, but this one seemed to be the most consistent, I would say. It also plays 2 Energy Recycler, which is super interesting, to be honest. I guess you end up discarding a lot of energy, but I'm not really sure how. because most of the time you're sending energy to the lost zone or you're putting it in play with Superior, so or like moving it around, I should say. So yeah, very interesting list. I'm not so sure about this one, to be honest, because I think Giratina is just like such a good attacker overall. But certainly, if you were looking to get into a Lost Zone deck, but then you couldn't afford Giratina vstars immediately or something, you could build this and then like work towards Giratina. I'd also suggest including a Leafeon V in this particular list as well, because Giratina V does need a grass energy, so there is like some decent synergy there. But yeah, seems pretty cool. Then this next one is kind of like this Arceus box variant with a 2-2 Arceus line. Also plays a Drapion for the Mew and Palkia matchup. There's also even a 2-2 line of the Kricketune. The Kricketune being the one that buffs your HP by 40, so it will take you up to 310 hit points, so it's effectively VMAX territory. And this will obviously protect you from getting one-hit KO'd by stuff like Giratina or Palkia if they overextend with Leon and Choice Belt, so I do like the idea of Kricketune with Superior, and because you're playing Arceus, you don't have to worry about, playing the Leafeon V. Although you could play if you really wanted to, but obviously this person thinks Arceus will be enough for you. So yeah, seems pretty good. There's also a 2-2 line of the upcoming Altaria. This guy will let you move all damage counters from one of your bench Pokemon to your opponent's active Pokemon. So it's just a very nice way to max heal all your Pokemon. So not only are you just, conserving energy with Superior and setting your Pokemon up with Arceus, you can also conserve energy and then just heal a Superior effectively. So, and you do have like 310 hit points. So yeah, very cool, very tanky deck to see, and be interesting to see how this one plays out. So the next one, slight variation on the last, but this is going to be less of an Arceus variant and more like a Leafeon build, I guess. It's also playing a thicker line of Altaria because it plays the Dragon Core one that will allow you to, or Attempting Tune, I should say, that will allow you to, once in your turn, search your deck for any supporter and put on top of your deck. Just allows you to play a couple of different options, such as Thornton, Serena, Gardenia, Marnie, Research Boss. Like, you do play quite the selection of supporters, so kind of makes sense to me. Something I would say I don't agree with in these lists is like the one-off Battle VIP pass. It just seems so strange to me that he would include it if it's such a dead card after the first turn, but just as a one-off, I should say. But yeah, seems pretty interesting either way. Also note that there's a lot of Radiant Gardevoir in these decks because just being that bit much bulkier, as well as with Kricketune, means that you effectively have 330 hit points to take a 1-hit KO on Superior, so I do approve of Radiant Gardevoir. I think it's a very worthy inclusion. Also, Thornton's in here just to turn like a basic in your discard pile to any other basic that you might need. So if your opponent bosses up a Kricketune, you could like Thornton one of your Sobbles and Swablues, or your Manaphy if you don't need it, I guess, into a Kricketot, for example. So Thornton, super cool inclusion to see. But yeah, that'll be that list. This one is yet another Kricketune variant. I scrolled through quite a lot of Kricketune stuff, so I'm assuming that's a good sign. And this Kricketune variant is actually playing the Wobbuffet over the Altaria. So Wobbuffet having a massive advantage being just a basic Pokemon, and the Wobbuffet will allow you to essentially mirror the amount of damage counters on one of your bench Pokemon to your opponent's active. So very powerful effect. This list also focuses more on Superior. Like in the previous lists, we've seen alternate attackers. This list is very thick in that line. It's playing a 4-4. It's also playing one-off Beedrill with a Mustard, just so you can get these like evil one-hit kills against Blissey, against Palkia and Kyurem if they're playing the Wash Energy, against the new Lugia, which relies on Special Energy, soon Zoroark. I think a lot of people underestimate how powerful Beedrill is, but yeah, Beedrill with Persistent Stinger just gets a 1-hit KO in some matchups, can be very devastating, so yeah, super approve of this. Also playing the 4 Serena, so very high count. I just like this list a lot because it's focusing on disruption. You don't have to play any abilities whatsoever, so you can run 4 Path to the Peak. It plays 3 Cheryl, just so you can move all your energy to another Superior. One thing I will say is you're relying on manual attachments effectively, so 1 Grass and then a double Turbo on the following turn, which I'm not sure I 100% agree with, but honestly, if I was to play a Superior deck, this is like the list I would go for. It seems like the most consistent, most straightforward, and yeah, seems like the most powerful. So I believe this is the last variant we're going to look at today, and it's the Inteleon one. Just thought I'd include it because there's obviously a lot of people who are more familiar with the Intelligent engine and maybe they want to pick up Superior because it's a favorite Pokemon or something, so I thought I'd include this one. Something interesting to note is that because you're playing Scoop Up Net and Level Ball, you can get away with playing Glaring Zigzagoon, and this will help your maths in some situations, which is kind of cool. It also still playing the Cricketune, like Japan seemed to love Cricketune, so yeah, there's not like a whole lot amount to say about this list other than it's interesting enough not playing Serena. I think it was like one of the few lists I've seen that's not playing it. It's just playing the boss, the Raihan, the Cheryl, just to give you some more options. Also not playing any water energy, so you will never be attacking with the Aqua Bullet and Talion, but still focusing on quick shooting to get a bit of a damage buff. But yeah, that's the Talion variant. So yeah, thanks for watching. That's about it. Bit of a quicker one today, but yeah, let me know what you think down below and hope you'll see you next time. Thank you for watching.